All right, I'm going to read it and Laura's going to answer it.
Okay.
Instadrian on Instagram says, hi. I don't know if you will see this message, but I would like to know if tattoos are an obstacle to finding a job in New Zealand. Thank you. We have seen this message and we have an answer for you.
All right. So, as you might know, or maybe you don't know, in New Zealand, the Maori culture has a big significance on tattoos, or moko as they call it when it's tattooed on themselves. So yeah, a big part of the Maori culture are tattoos sort of saying their ancestry, and this is usually maybe on their arms, or even some people get it on their face as well. So
There's actually
yeah,
quite a lot of face tattoo in New Zealand.
yeah, exactly. So because it is such a big part of the culture in New Zealand, then obviously it would be a little bit inappropriate for not being able to find a job with a tattoo, since so many people do have tattoos. So yeah.
So to be very clear, New Zealand has such a massive tattoo culture. There's even a festival of tattoo in the country, which is quite crazy. So no, the short answer is like no, it is not an obstacle at getting a job. You can definitely get almost every single kind of jobs with tattoos. Aside obviously if your tattoo are like gang related or very graphic or anything like that, you may be asked to cover them up. But aside from that, it's definitely not anything which is to look at. Actually, a lot of the people that I know actually have tattoos. Almost everybody we know actually have a tattoo in New Zealand. It's quite big. Now, depending on certain kind of jobs that you may be doing, you may be asked to cover the tattoo, which makes sense. If you work in a high-end hotel, if you work in a high-end restaurant, just those kind of things, they may just want to have a very polished look for everybody, and for that reason, you may be asked to cover it. Meaning, like, well, they're going to ask you to wear a long sleeve shirt, and that's pretty much it. But I don't think it's a big, it's a massive issue for that per se. But so depending on the industry, you may have to cover it. But in the meantime, tattoos are kind of a cool asset in New Zealand, because so many people have a tattoo. It can be quite a good talking piece, as well. Like when you meet new people, you ask them about their tattoo, they ask you about yours. It's kind of like it's a great icebreaker there, and New Zealand kind of lives on tattoo. The Maori culture is they did. I mean, back when the Maoris are still doing, some of them are still doing traditional tattoo. It damn hurts. They use like specific kind of pieces of wood,
like a chisel.
Chisel in the skin. Obviously, like the tattoo that we got, and we actually have an article about a video about us getting a tattoo. Literally, the last thing that we've done on New Zealand's Biggest Gap Year was to get a tattoo. So check this video. We're gonna put a link down there. But yeah, so those was using like the normal tattoo gun, so it didn't hurt as much. But yeah, they actually go through great length and great pain to get those tattoos. So it would be absolutely not okay to discriminate based on that. I mean, just thinking like having your face chiseled to get those beautiful pieces of art.
Yeah. Because
that's also one of the things. Most of the Maori tattoos actually are absolutely stunning pieces of art. So they usually enhance kind of the look of a person rather than kind of like trash it with the tramp stamp, for example.
There's not many tramps.
I hope Adrian whatever does not have the tramp stamp. I really hope that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we thought it would be a good opportunity for us to bring up what would be an obstacle to getting a job. What can stop you for getting a job in New Zealand? So we actually have a little bit of a list.
Yeah, so first on our list is a bad CV. A bad CV could be interpreted as maybe a CV that you would use at home, but it's not particularly going to work in New Zealand.
Don't just translate your French or German CV and hope that it's going to be working. It's not the case. You need to start from scratch.
Yeah, exactly. So the best thing you can do is actually, we do have an article on BackpackerGuide.NZ, which is how to make a New Zealand CV. Follow the tips on there and actually cater your CV to New Zealand employers. That's the first thing that you can do to basically overcome that obstacle. another thing that could be an obstacle is not practicing your English enough. Like we actually discussed in our video last week, that English, having not absolutely fluent, perfect English isn't really a major negative thing in New Zealand, but you do need to practice English a lot. Obviously, if you're spending most of your time with your French, say, and you spend all your time with French people and you only ever speak French, then when it actually comes to communicating in the workplace, it's going to be a little bit difficult. And even in your interview, maybe...
Well, what are you saying about my French accent right here? Why are you looking at me that much?
If you talk like Robin.
If you talk like Robin. My French accent is actually terrible.
You do need to practice your English, obviously. There's only certain types of jobs where you do need to have good, like, fluent English, obviously if it's a lot of communication with customers, but there are a lot of jobs where your English doesn't really need to be perfect. And to be honest, most English people don't speak that perfect English either.
Yeah, that's true.
So do you want to go through some other ones?
The other kind of thing that you can do badly and will be a major obstacle at you getting a job in New Zealand would be not to personalize your job application. It is so crazy how some people actually just copy and paste the same CV, the same letter, the same message on the email, and just hope that they send that 100 times and they're going to get an answer. It does not work. Spamming employers just doesn't work. If you really want a job, or if you really want to work for that specific company, you are capable of writing an extra 2 or 3 sentences. I'm not saying do everything from scratch, but add an extra 2 or 3 sentences about this specific company, making them feel that they have your full attention and that you really wrote this especially just for them. So it's quite important to do that, and so this will be an obstacle at not getting a job.
Yeah, I think that's the end of that.
All right, cool. So that is basically all our tips about kind of what are the obstacles about for getting a job in New Zealand. But again, having a tattoo, it's totally fine. We both have one, and check out the video of us getting it. You're going to see us kind of like cringe and be like, it hurts. So yeah, that's basically it. Thank you very much for this question, Adrian. If you did like it, like and subscribe. We are here to help. And if you do have any questions for us, make sure to put them in the comment below, because, well, we're here to answer all your questions every single week on the live video. All right, let's go back to live chat.